The Let's Be Buds show is for adults 21 plus only. Content is for education and entertainment. We don't sell or promote cannabis. Please follow your local laws and consume responsibly. Opinions are our own. Keep all products away from children and pets.
Oh yeah. And please, no dickheads. We ask that you respect our no dickheads policy. If you are a dickhead or thinking of being a dickhead today, please be a dickhead somewhere else.
Are you ready?
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show. We got a great one for you tonight. Mo from igrosoil will be joining us very shortly. Happy Canada Day for all of us Canadians, and welcome to all of the early birds. Tonight is the first Wednesday of the month, which means that we are giving away a 32-ounce bottle of Lost Coast Plant Therapy and some fabulous merch courtesy of Lost Coast Plant Therapy. And somebody is going to be our lucky winner. Just drop by early. Hey, Galaxy, congrats, buddy. You're in the it's happening tonight. It's happening tonight. Absolutely. So anyway, this week we're excited to welcome Mo from igrosoil to the show. Healthy plants start with healthy soil, and that's exactly what we're diving into tonight. Mo is focused on sustainable agriculture and improving soil health through innovative biological and organic solutions. His mission is to help growers build living soils that produce healthier plants while reducing dependence on conventional chemical inputs. Whether you're growing a few plants at home or managing a large-scale garden, understanding what's happening below the surface can make all the difference. Tonight, we'll be talking about soil biology, regenerative growing practices, organic inputs, and how growers can work with nature instead of against it. Please help me welcome Mo to the show. There he is.
Welcome, Mo. What up?
How are you tonight, my friend?
Oh man, you already know.
Good to see you again.
Trying to stay cool. Trying to stay cool out here in Florida.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. So, hey, Mo, welcome back to the show. For those of you that haven't met, can you tell us a little bit about igrosoil and how the company got started?
Yeah, igrosoil was just something I came up with as far as joining Matt Power's class is actually what started. I needed a thumbnail. I was excited about regenerative agriculture and got, went through my journey in life and was sick and got better. Well, in my process of getting better, I started learning. I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow my own flower. I don't know what we could say here without, threatening of getting kicked off. But then, my cousin was like, "Oh, you should get some worms," and I was like, "Worms, bugs in the soil." I didn't know any of it, man. I was completely oblivious to anything that had to do with growing. I've never put a plant in the ground. And
excuse me, how long ago was this?
My journey into all of this is 2 years. I went from not knowing how to plant anything to completely deep diving. When I realized it was true, it started with Elaine Ingham, watching her on YouTube, and then I still wanted more, and I found Matt, and Matt was just kind of like, "Dude, here's the potential," right? And Matt, I reached out to him, and he's just been a guide, and he's just been that dude that opened the gates up. And then I met Rick over at Gardens and Glass, and what's cool about Rick is that he's like, "Quit following all these fucking rules. These rules are rules. They don't belong there. And because I was sick, I lost everything. I lost my company. I was a contractor. I lost everything. I was completely rug pulled. So it was like, how do we do this? How am I going to do this without money? And my family, obviously, they were giving me some air support. They sent me this wonderful microscope. And once I saw these microbes and I saw that this was like actually true and really happening, I just shut my life down as I was rehabilitating for about 2 years, a year and a half of just like no TV, obsessed, and books and learning how to learn. Cause I never hit that legacy education so it just became a passion and it became an obsession almost. My family was even like, "Do you think he's okay?" I'm like, "The fucking microbes, bro, they're growing shit," And then I started feeding them, this downtime. And so I'm known for the microscope and I'm known for compost and I love everything about that. But I started feeding these fucking microbes and I started feeding them different things. And mind you, they sent me home with a 6-pack of medication, I call it, right? I was like, "Here, take these drugs for the rest of your life. You're probably never going to walk again." Big dude. I was even larger. It was a disaster. I was being eaten by flesh-eating bacteria. I know I didn't share that last time. Or maybe I did. I had a flesh-eating bacteria put me out, dude, and I was induced coma and the whole thing. So that's not what drove me to go pursue this. It was actually soil. So something about soil, man, grounds me, dude. Something about soil slows me down. Something about soil brings an energy and a peace to me that my mind slows down, because usually I'm at 150 miles an hour. But there is a connection there mentally for me that relaxes me, dude. And it doesn't matter. Like when I hit Gardens and Glass, it doesn't matter what's going on in the background. The minute I hit that threshold, we're growing shit. You know what I mean? We're culturing. We're feeding microbes at all levels. How about feeding them some oatmeal? This is what I started looking at and obsessing on the microscope. I couldn't go anywhere. I was sick, dude. I was open wounded. So and then I started making these teas, right? People are all brewing and all this. There's a lot of talk out there about what's this and what's that. And everyone likes to say what they think they know. And it's always you think you know. And, one thing I picked up from Matt is just verify the shit. Let's verify it. Let's take, hey, listen, I just bought Bavaria Barciana from someone online, right? So let's scope it. And I scoped it. And I took it. And then I grew it. And I cultured it. And I watch it grow. And then I put it under the scope to be able to identify it so that now I know what Bavaria Barciana looks like. I know how it behaves. I know how to feed it. And now I can grow it out and instead of spending $25 for this thing, we're going to culture this. And now we're going to feed it to other things, give it relationships with other microbes. So, this is, it all started with just being amazed that this is actually real. There are these microbes that are, to me, the potential is endless. To me, what they do, I used to spend my life having to see things to believe it. I have faith in microbes first now before you can tell me that you can't tell me they can't do it until I don't have to see that they can't. Because when you've got microbes, swapping genes, a lot of people don't know this, and this is why I obsess over diversity microbes. Josh sends me his samples. I grow them out. They're in my compost. I'm looking at some microbes that I have now that I grew that survived here. And that's a diversity of microbe. Their organelles are different. Their cytoplasm, they have different compounds in them. And some of these bacteria actually, a lot of them swap, right? They'll plug in. Let's say you dealt with an illness. Let's say I dealt with Fournier's gangrene, right? All of a sudden, I end up in a bottle with you, and you're a different type of bacterium. We can actually connect, like that movie Avatar, that's based off of the world, the planet. And we will actually connect, and I will send you that data like the Matrix. And now you are equipped to be able to tackle that illness. That's horizontal gene transfer. This is what microbes do. So it all just blew me away. It literally just never stops either. Yeah. And the deeper I go, the deeper it gets. So it's like you think you just hit the bottom plate, and it's like, well, wait a minute. That these things have, they have these pumps in them. They make them, I go all day.
Now, the scary part of it all, Mo, is that from what I've been led to believe, what you've been able to see so far in the soil is a very small fraction of actually what's in there.
Yeah. So, this whole thing about, we know 1% of microbes, we know that's true. I mean, but what we do know is very common, right? For example, tonight we'll look at a compost that I'm looking for this select common set of players, right? So what matters, we're looking at. So yes, is it true that that's the wonderful thing about it too, that mystery, right? That works great with my students, right? I'm like, I tell them this, and to them, everything is potentially a new discovery. So whatever it takes to engage the future, but these are at levels that we can't tell. We're looking at little dots of bacteria. We don't know what they are, but when you start observing behaviors of these bacteria, and this is where I challenge all microscopists and all soil consultants to go deeper than just putting something on a slide and saying, okay, well, one of those guys, these guys, no. What's happening to the bacteria? How are they responding? Why are they huddled up in this corner and not over here? There may be more nutrient or oxygen in this corner. Why is there, we were looking at a sample, I think Josh was there, where there was exclusion zones around the biochar, where the microbes were staying away from the biochar at every piece of biochar. So now we're looking and saying, okay, you're having a problem in this garden. Your biochar's showing exclusion zones. Where is that input coming from? And guess what the answer was? Well, it's proprietary. He doesn't want to tell me. Okay, cool. So the shit yard then, probably, right? Yep. That's what proprietary means to me, because I'll tell you that my stuff came from, it was delivered as a revelation from the mountains of Indonesia, to try to put a twist on a product. But it'd be like, oh, it's proprietary. I don't want to tell you, you just pay me top dollar for it. And if you've ever seen a petri dish with like penicillin, these microbes stay away from it. They don't want anything to do with it. And it's the same thing. There's something there that those microbes didn't want to do. So, when you start digging deeper into consulting like that, because that's, what I do. It's how I run my business. Compost is great. I sell compost. I do all of that. But consulting is my passion. Let's take a look at your field. Let's see what we can do with it. I will get into Josh's pond. He took that crash, brother, and the microscope did not lie. We're looking at it, and it was obvious from above and below. Everything just said, "Screw this. We don't want to rumble. We ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do it." So yeah. And so that's. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's basically. Yeah. Now I'm here. Now I've gotten deep into culturing them and growing them, whether it's ferment, and I got really good at doing it right out of your backyard, because that's how I had to do it. And again, I'm beating up on Matt, because this is Matt and Rick out here, like, just throw it in there, Mo, and pushing me forward and seeing the journey, and then them like, oh, let's order this. He'll order certain materials that we'll look at, and I'm able to identify it and say, oh, you just spent your money on something that's no bueno, bro.
Well, I was able to recover from my crash because of the information you gave me. And that information came from you looking at the microscope and being able to identify, and then having the knowledge, and then other people around us to be like, wait a minute, what happened? What exactly did you do?
Yeah.
Dialing in the cause, and then being able to go, okay, now how do we fix and stop this from happening again? And, it was as simple as changing the lights back to where we were so that things could recover, and then adding in the proper microbes, like the purple non-sulfur bacteria you sent me in the lab, and then doing a water change, resetting everything. And then just basically I just disconnected the creek to the soil, let the soil recover, kind of basically dry out a little bit, and then everything just went back to normal.
Yeah.
Saved my crop, all because you knew exactly, like, hey man, you killed off your cyanobacteria, your algae's gone, you're not cleaning your creek anymore.
Yeah, it's really interesting that, you know, from above to from macro to micro, right? From above, it died, and then in the pond and in the soil, it died. It got wiped out, and you know, and a lot of this we're theorizing that, you know, like in Florida, we take on algae blooms here because when we get heavy rain, all these grass holes, as Pete Canaris would call it, these people who just fucking grow grass with a bunch of nitrogen in their front lawn, that gets washed into the canals, and now it's feeding the nitrogen to the cyanobacteria, the blue-green algae, and then it starts to bloom and it becomes toxic. And once it becomes toxic, you start seeing fish rolling up on the shore. We have to look during our monsoon seasons, like, you know, as we're coming up to, if we want to go to the beach, we got to go look at the weather, and we got to make sure that there's not an algae blooms, because it's toxic. It'll mess your respiratory system up. You'll end up in the hospital with breathing problems. So he had a fish die. So when he told me that, all this was like, well, let's take a look at it. Plus, he's doing the work. You know, I can only give my advice against what he's saying and then go do the work. And he stewards that thing like it's a canvas, you know, and he's got a paintbrush. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So for the benefit of those that aren't aware, Josh and Mo are doing another podcast under Josh's channel, Thursdays at 6 o'clock Eastern. It starts, and this week's guest is Matt Powers, and so looking forward to that. And actually, Josh and Mo, what I wanted to do is actually get you guys to just do a takeover, and I'm excited to get looking inside Mo's microscope. And Josh, maybe tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to create this Thursday show.
Well, the creation, I mean, just meeting Mo and getting in touch with Mo. You know, I saw his, you know, interview and his video from Matt Powers' soil conference. And I was like, I need to get in touch with this dude. So I went to the Instagram, shoot him a message.
Yeah, he said, you want to look at my sample? I was like, fuck yeah, I want to look at your sample.
Yeah, I was just like, man, I want to send you some of my stuff, you know, so you can see it. And that way maybe we can track it and see what's going on. Of course, I kind of figured he would want to. And then so I sent it to him. And then I sent him another sample. And now I sent him another sample. So we're basically kind of looking at it as it progresses, you know, and we can actually see the change. And then when the crash happened, I was like, oh shit. You know, we're looking at, you know, I was like, look at this now and see the difference. It was kind of like I wouldn't have changed that experience for anything, because it gave us so much knowledge about
it gives you that other piece, bro. It gives you that part that you can't see, right? It's like,
yeah. Like I would have never have known what to do. You know what I mean? Like it was such a simple fix, but I would have been chasing my tail. You know, I'd have just been like, what do I do? Like, I mean, I kind of knew the lights, you know, but I didn't know how much. I didn't know what the cause was. You know, the whole everything. I was just, you know, I needed the knowledge, and like that's basically how I got the knowledge was Mo's microscopy course. And then Mo was like, man, this is like a soil discovery. Everything is like a new discovery. Like he just mentioned it ago. It's like everything's like a new discovery. And I was like, you know what? That's a great name for a show. Soil Discoveries. You know, Josh and Mo. You know, it just sounded good. And I was like, if you want to do it, let's do it.
It really is, man. And you know, like here, you know, so I figured out, by the way, how to point. If you can see barely, it's a small mouse, but it's a mouse nonetheless.
Yep.
These chunks here. So this is somebody who sent me their stuff, and this is basically a bioassay, and this is the first time I put it on, and it looks great. So if I'm gonna take you guys quickly into my world, I go to look at how well it becomes soluble carbon in the jar, and then I come in here and I love being able to do this. First of all, I'm starting to realize that it's taking big balls for people to send me stuff, because I'm not gonna blast anyone. As far as I'm concerned, if there's room for opportunity for growth and learning, then great. But I'm looking for particular players in here, and the compost is excellent quality wise. Feel a lot of sand, you see, so it starts telling me, and it gives me an idea of how it was built by looking at all this sand. This is something that you won't see in my compost. But my compost is a whole different game. And I'm not saying that because I make it. I literally go through a whole different, I've got my own protocols, for my compost. Now, I can't scale up in rows with my compost, nor do I need to. This is being pushed as a compost amendment. This is the new thing you guys are going to start hearing out there. I don't know if you've heard that yet. It's a compost amendment, right? And that's where you pay $90 for 10 pounds of it. And the idea is that you're going to be amending your compost with life. And I'm going to jump over to 400. This is 400 magnification we're going in. So
just for everybody's benefit, this is the first time you're actually looking at this slide.
It just came in today.
Mm-hmm.
It literally came in today. And, this is the first time I put it up. This is a test date amoeba. This is a predatorial microbe. These are the ones that we want to see. This is the soil food web pushes. These are the friendly aerobic microbes. These are the ones that make their own shell. And there's usually an amoeba inside, and this is at 400. And here we're looking at some type of life. But another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this 480 nanometer light on this. And I want to see if the background fades out on me. Like the background just turned black. So this is really cool because we're looking at organic matter. Everything we're looking at is organic matter, all these big chunks. And this organic matter is holding everything in solution because everything is glowing. So let's say your phosphorus, for example. Your phosphorus is going to fluoresce under this type of lighting. So that's potentially phosphorus that's being held up in this chunk of soil. If it sits here in solution in water for a day, it'll leach all that out. And the screen will eventually look like maybe that instead of the dark background, because now it's all soluble, right? Now it'll run off if we washed it, and that's the power of the carbon, right? The organic matter is holding it. Here's another great example of bacteria that glues. You see this? This is all these little dots and different. The colors are chromatic aberrations from the microscope, so don't pay attention to the purples and greens. That's from the lens itself. But the bacteria are colonizing things and making fluffy soil. This is at 400 magnification. Now, Josh already knows. We've already been through like 4 fields of view, and I'm looking for predators, bro, right? I'm looking for these guys. These are the guys that I want to see right now in the system. There's a potential diatom right over here. If you can, I'll center him in a minute, but there's a big testate amoeba here. Mm-hmm. And then this one up here is encysted. If you can see this here, this is really cool actually to be able to show this. This is a double-celled wall here. You can see this circle in the middle. I'm glad I can point now, dude. I couldn't point last time, bro. That has 2 walls, right? There's 2 walls there. This is a microbe that is dormant right now for whatever reason. Maybe it just got through the compost. Maybe it's not ready. There's a lot of signaling that goes on. There's a lot of signaling that happens in soil that we there's no idea. We can only imagine it, bro, because there's information being. This is like a worm, even a wiggler. When a red wiggler's at a macro level going through soil, it's leaving signals to let other worms know that there's a path there to wherever it's going. It gets deep. So I am seeing, this here. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing predators. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up diving a lot deeper into this. Most importantly, we're looking at fungi because anybody can make a bacterial-filled compost, right? But here's I call it the pinnacle, right? This is the fungi, these brown strands.
Yep.
That is your fungal growth. That's what you're always hearing. Is it fungal? Is it fungal, right? When you look at your organic matter, you can see nutrients clinging to them. See this? These things that are glowing, you can see the fungal hyphae here breaking it down.
Yep.
So with the right equipment, you can actually get deeper, and you can tell a lot from a compost just by the color of the organic matter. Like, for example, again, here we've got light brown, which is more fulvic. We got more fulvic acid here, right? So if you start seeing a whole bunch of it, then you start, I start saying, well, let me check the pH, because it's just so fulvic, maybe the pH is a little bit lower, and usually it is. But look at this piece of organic matter. I'll go back into 400 here.
So let me ask you, Mo, if you're looking at a compost, you can actually tell the pH.
I've gotten pretty damn close to by like a 0.1 point or something like that, 2 points. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I think Eagle was like, did you just, one of our guys was like, did you just
the lighter brown, the more fulvic, the more acid.
Correct. And fungi thrive in fulvic compost, fulvic rich compost. But look at this cluster here, right? All the little dots of bacteria that are now gluing themselves to this piece of organic matter. When you have a healthy soil, when you have a healthy system, this happens. This happens because if it starts raining right now, that's not going to get washed away. That's not going to end up in your neighbor's yard.
It's just aggregating.
That's exactly what it's doing. And a lot of these glues, they're strong. They'll trap nematodes. I've gotten tons of videos of nematodes just shaking, bro, just trying to get a break away from it. And, here's another piece of big organic matter. But I would say that Josh, you probably get a little spoiled as well hanging out with us because but here we're looking at, looks boring, but it's not. We've got one.
Pretty good.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's been staring at 1, 2, 3 predators here already. This might be actinomycete back here, but look at all the little aggregation. All these little particles are telling me that, this is a well broken down compost. And it shows when I'm grabbing it. I'm going to make a video on it. When I'm holding it, it is this beautiful chocolate brown compost. These and this is diluted by 10 to 15. That's another big deal. Most people, most of the time I'll dilute by 8 and able to get away with it. There's a spore right here.
Yeah.
So, another test data maybe here. So we're counting test dates here. We're counting these predators that you want in a healthy system. Every time I go to a field of view here, I'm hitting more. And it's very stable. I'm not looking at the bacteria you can see the bacteria just jittering. There's an energy, right? There's, what was that you called out the other day?
Yeah, it's called
brownie motion. Right. There's atoms bouncing around and making bacteria shake and move, and
it's the water molecules.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Water molecules in the water. You get deep enough, the water molecules are hitting, and they're going back and forth, and they make everything shake.
Look at this piece of fungus here. Now we're talking, dude. Right? This is the stuff that we're looking for. If I'm gonna qualify and verify some of these composts, these are the things I'm looking for. Because if I'm gonna sign off on it, it's got to be right. And I'm not asking to have a billion. I'm asking to say, would I buy this? Would I be happy if I bought this? Right? That's all that matters to me. And yeah, absolutely. I'm saying cool. I don't see nematodes here, right? I don't see nematodes anywhere so far. And that's not a bad thing.
That could be because it's been broken down to the point where
I have this new thing that I'm explaining it. Nematodes are there when the beer's at the party. When you have a party and there's beer there, nematodes are there, dude. When you've got high nitrogen, high nutrient, nematodes are there, and they're there deep, right? They should be there deep, unless something else is going on. So it's not bad news to not find the nematode. Look, we're looking at this little zoomer in the background that I can barely dial into. There's things happening in the background that are working the soil. So all of this is there, and it needs to be there, and it wants to be. Look at here. Here's a test data amoeba that's alive, and it's actually coming out of its shell. So hard to see because they're actually so small, right? But I'll tell you what, you can take my microscope off real quick. I'm gonna change slides, and I'm gonna amp this up a little bit because we've got 30 minutes. So I say we
okay,
we get a little busy.
So we are somewhat flexible with our time, Mo. But God damn it, I did the same thing. I looked at the clock and I fuck, we've already gone through half an hour. But that's okay. We got a 2-hour show, and we'll fill it. We'll fit everything in.
Yeah, we got it. So what I'm gonna put on the slide now, it's one of the coolest things for me that I've looked at, and I'm in love with fucking with it right now, and that is Azolla. This is Azolla. It's a water fern, mosquito fern.
Oh, okay.
Aquatic. It shares a very specific relationship with cyanobacteria algae, a blue-green algae.
They look like little lily pads floating on the top.
Yeah. You've seen plenty of these, bro. You've seen some of the nicest microscopy I've put out has been with this stuff. I'm trying to get at least a piece of green on here. I got to be careful because if the slide gets too chunky, then it gets just a touch blurrier.
It gives you a really good idea of what, like, it gives you a good visual.
This will feel. I wonder what you'll have if you put this in your pond. Your fish will devour it. I gave some to my sister, and she her fish, it didn't last in her little pond.
That's one thing about having turtles, man. You're not allowed to grow anything in a turtle pond.
Yeah.
Turtles, everything.
They'll snatch it all up, won't they?
They do.
So let's go. Yeah, we're gonna go this way first. I'll start at the leaf. I think I have one here.
Mo, is it a fair question to ask? Like what you're showing us on the screen? Okay, how big is that? I mean, I know you're using a 400 times microscope, but like if you were, it's tiny, isn't it? It's fucking tiny.
Oh yeah. So zooming in right now. So here, let me kick my microscope. You can go ahead and put me back up if there you go. So this is the leaf structure of the Azolla at 100 time magnification, right? And this stuff, let me put some here. This is fucking protein, nutrients. Your animals love this stuff. Chickens love this stuff. It is just so nutrient rich. And then again, it has that relationship with cyanobacteria. It creates a little silica shell inside of the leaf, and the leaf will actually split every 2 to 3 days, splitting that cyanobacteria. And that cyanobacteria is actually a nitrogen-fixing bacteria. So it's eating sunlight, and it's feeding this little leaf nitrogen. And this is why they split so fast, because it's plugged in to nitrogen, right? And then with this epifluorescent lamp, it's gonna highlight the chlorophyll. You see the red?
Wow.
That's all chlorophyll. And then look at the stomata. I mean, yeah. Have you guys seen stomata?
No.
Do we know what stomata is?
Yeah, that's cool.
There they are. These are all the little mouths that breathe in CO2, respire oxygen. This is.
Look at that.
This is why you're on the planet, Rick.
It's 200 time magnification, and look at all the chloroplast, the chlorophyll. Right, this is what's happening in your leaves, man, and this is one little tiny little leaf, and look how many mouths there are, right? Yeah. These are the things that shut when it gets hot, right? When it gets too hot, they'll shut it down. But that always blown me away. That's 200. Let's go to 400 and see what happens. It might get too wonky. There you go.
Oh yeah, yep.
Completely trippy, dude.
Yeah, you can see the little mouths there.
I thought I saw the mouth move,
especially right there to the right there.
What's happening is that this blue light is triggering the dry. It's like I'm hitting it with 480 nanometers of light. So it's actually what you're seeing is the water in the background move.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right.
Well, you could have lied to me. You could have lied to me.
It's alive, Rick. It's alive.
You can absolutely see them opening and closing. But look at the cell walls of this thing.
Oh my!
So like little blocks.
Yep. I'm gonna back this up. And what's most impressive to me is the life that I usually find living in here. I mean, there's a lot moving around, but I'm looking for specific players. Here's a paramecium. Just shredding, bro. right? These things are now these things are absolutely cool. They're like, if I hit that blue light on it, it'll scatter like a roach. And then look at this bug. This is like a flea or something. I forget the name of these things.
Oh, that's
But I'll tell you what really looks cool with these. Here, I'm about to blow you away with these guys. Yeah, nah, watch this. This is why I came here with a little stony vibe tonight, bro. This is stoner microscopy is what it is. Can I say that? Where to go? Oh, I gotta change this one up here now.
He said, those things are super. Oh, they're alien fast, dude.
Oh yeah, these things will fly, dude. They'll flat out fly
fast.
So let me do this first, and then we'll find them.
It's like they defy gravity. They really do. It's like they're so fast. It's like insane.
There he goes. So now I have polarized lens on it, so it's gonna show off the minerals. Look at that rotifer. This guy's hauling ass though. See if I can chase him. Let me go to 40. I'm gonna go to 40. This is 40 times zoom. Look at him. Whatever minerals are inside of him are fluorescing with polarized lens. So anything glowing at this point are some type of minerals that are bouncing back up from these polarized
what's he
lens.
doing right now?
They're feeding, bro. They just feed. They're just out there tearing up bacteria, and this is the bacteria that take orders from plants and roots.
Like you smoking joints, Rick. They just keep doing it over.
Yeah.
All day long.
I can't explain. I can't explain.
But what's beautiful about this paramecium is that look at it. You know, not all these microbes fluoresce. He's just photobombing everything. It's pretty. You know, watching behaviors and watching how these microbes, you know, they don't. It's all based off of signals. They bounce around and sometimes they'll fall off track and then get back in line from wherever the food is at. But they just graze, dude. They graze blindly. If I would say, you know, here's a route for this particular azolla.
Mm.
But
I'm sure they must have some. They must have some way of communicating.
That's such a cool yellow, man. Look at that
absolutely.
Gold.
But yeah, I mean, take a look at that, dude. Come on, man. This is what's happening. Now, I use this as an inoculant, dude. Like, of course I want this in my compost, dude. They're shredders, bro. They're eating bacteria and they're pooping out nutrient.
That's right. Just like my isopods and my earwigs. Like it's a shit loop. You know, you get big and you go break it on down. These are the guys that we can't see that are continuing the shit loop.
And then you can see all the different colors fluorescing, like the reds. You know, I don't know what those are, and in order to start identifying this stuff, I'd have to take on a pretty decent course. You know, and probably a $15,000 microscope, because these films I'm using, this is a rig. I just bought some polarized. You know, I was thinking, why don't I just, if our sunglasses are polarized, why not get some lenses that I can put on my microscope and bypass the $6,000, $7,000 scope. But yeah, look at these things just working, man. They're just tearing it up. They're just out there just ripping, dude.
Releasing nutrients to your plant.
Yep. And then if we get even crazier, I'll take these off and I'll take you guys into dark field here. Watch this.
And then the more diversity you have in your organic matter, the more.
Now this is where we take microscopy and I work in the artsy side of things. You know, I love art, dude. I used to be a graphic designer, and a graffiti artist. So I started, and so I'm always trying to get this thing to look as cool as possible. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something called a dark field condenser on. And this dark field condenser is just going to make the light bounce off in a different way. And I've got other techniques on here that are going to take this level of microscopy to what would normally cost you $30,000 microscope, roughly. And so I start finding the sweet spot, right? I start dialing it in.
Look at that shit. That's so fucking
amazing.
And now we're, and as I move it around,
You can see the hairs. Oh, look at that thing! Just got snatched up.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it get eaten? Did it just get snatched up?
Yeah. He was busy chewing on that
and then it was like
piece of organic
oh,
matter.
yeah.
Somebody came along behind him and go, whoop, gone.
Well, then we just learned that thing, I forget the name of it, eats those, because I never seen him eat one before.
So look at the little hairs. Look at the little hairs around that.
Yeah, those are the cilia. That's how they move, believe it or not. They've got thousands of them, and those are what propels them. And he's like in this shell that's like totally trippy, dude.
You think this one's in the process of making that shell right now?
No way.
Oh, look at that.
He's out.
It took off, dude.
He's out.
Look at it. Look at him. Does that thing have a flatula? Is that what that is?
No, dude, those are just hairs, man. And I don't know much about these, to be honest with you. I would swear Eagle, I think I say Eagle because he's one of our guys that is always
a flagella is like a tail, right? Like
no, definitely not a flagella. And these things can flat out fly. I'm looking for even a rotifer too. So I'll go back to 40 real quick and I'll back this up and see who else is in here, because there's usually a lot going on. And this is Zola samples. There's pieces of bug. You see all these big pieces of hair looking structures.
Yeah. They look glowing too.
It's just, oh, there he is. Look at this guy. He's a rotifer right here. I love roadies, man. These guys are dope. Look at them. They're absolute shredders, dude. This is Apex. This is the world's smallest animal. It's not even considered a microbe.
Why is it an animal?
Because of its size. This is only at 100, and look how big it is. They consider it an animal. I don't know who made that call or what, but they grow these for aquariums to feed certain fish. I think clownfish eat these things. I know in the aquarium world, you can actually grow these things. And I don't know if he's alive. I don't see his I don't see him moving. I don't see his internal organelles moving. And let's see if he reacts to this.
Nope.
No action.
Dead as a hammer.
Might be dead. He's not dormant, because when they go dormant, they go into a little circle. They protect themselves in that little circle. But we're looking at life here, just cycling nutrients. They don't stop, bro. These things do not stop. They just keep working. And if they're getting the life sucked out of them by another microbe, it doesn't matter. They keep working. It's like you're at work and you got someone sucking the life out of you, and you just keep grinding. It's the ultimate employee. You know what I mean? It's, we had on Thursday night, Josh, we had that one Septoria sucking the life out of that ciliate, dude, and it was
yeah.
And it had him jammed up against the organic matter, like grab him like, this up, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your shit. And they ain't gonna do anything about it. And I've seen them recover from that, right? So I've seen a lot, man. What is this? You see, I start asking what's happening here. What is that? That
right in the middle?
There. Whatever that is completely trippy. And there's a purple testate amoeba right there. Listen, Josh, bro. Josh is like bing, 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 sniping it down too.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot better at being able to see.
Yeah.
Whereas before you had eagle eyes, now my eagle eyes are starting to focus.
Yeah, it's starting to develop. But whatever this thing is, it's shaped like a donut.
Yeah.
And that's really got my attention. I would normally on any average day just go in there and spend an hour staring at that thing and seeing if it moves and trying to manipulate it. But that testate amoeba, that's one of those purple ones. It looks like those things eat spores in soil. But there you go. So how about that for a minute? Here's where we start breaking rules, Rick. That is the pinnacle, air quotes, of an aerobic microbe right there. And I'm pointing at this guy. This is where everybody goes in and looks at their compost and says, oh, we're good. We're golden. I've got the aerobic microbes here. Why is he in a water sample? What is he doing in a water sample? Just all I'm saying. I'm not expecting an answer. That's a question I'm going to ask Leighton when I'm over there. He might have an answer, but what's happening there? What is that thriving in a water sample? So these are the things I'm saying. We can't. I don't count everything with such conviction that okay, that's aerobic and this one's anaerobic.
Well, it could be because is there enough dissolved oxygen in the water to surviving that it doesn't need to be out like in the soil? It could be.
Well, absolutely, because this plant is pushing oxygen into the water. But I mean, we're still anaerobic. So does that mean your pond? It goes back to your pond. Your organic matter is holding so much oxygen that it took 8 days to start seeing stress indications, right?
Yeah.
But my point is that they're like, oh, okay, it's got to be, you're running a perfect compost basically if you got a bunch of these. I don't know about that. You're running a great compost. I will say that, but we can't just write it off as that. That's why, it's there, because we're looking at it right now in a Zola pond sample. I don't know what that is. That looks kind of trippy. But here we are. We do go to time, right? So, and then here we're looking at other bug parts. So this is what I do. I go look at things, and I get better at identifying them, and then I'll say, "Oh, dude, I saw. Look, here's another one. What is it? Whatever this is, right there.
That's another donut.
Looks like it.
Alien saucer, man.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What is that made of? Right? I get all these questions on like, what is that? What is that made of? I have an IMO2 right now with me too, that I want, that we can look at, but that looks like some type of shell or some. See, so the story starts to unfold for me, right? Maybe we're looking at a cracked one. Maybe we're looking at one that's broken in half, or maybe we're looking at an egg that was busted open, and one of these things, like those things zipping around everywhere.
Do you think the guts are coming out of that right there?
No, I'm starting to think that might be an egg of some sort. And then look at this here. Look at this septated whatever this is.
Yeah.
Look how amazing that is. And if I put epi on that, let's see if it kind of turns red. Nope. But look at the structure and the way that's glowing. And that's an indication of what? Chitinase that I've been noticing. All the crustacean in your samples that when we light them up, they glow like that. Just the outline.
Yeah, that's how they're put together. They grow like that. Like each, section has that.
Another thing. So here's something else. Here's something else that I did. Just so you know, the last time I looked at this sample, I had a lot of the big round water fleas, they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, why are there so many of those now? So I went and I added more compost to the bottom of that, and I'm not seeing nowhere near as many. Look at this thing. What's up with that, dude? That just looks totally trippy.
Wow.
And we're looking at a more true color here, by the way. The light, what's happening here is that the light's going up, and then it's bouncing out and then coming back. So now we're getting light from the side. And then I have a couple other things going on here where I've rigged it to give it, here's another thing is where now I'll start adding to pull it off the screen and give it more of a 3D-ish look as I start dialing it in, right? This is a little darker, but
oh yeah,
I would have to just nail it. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, sometimes, and I'm at 200, I'll take it back to 100. And now we're getting into what? Take a look at that, right? I just changed the whole dynamic of this thing.
Yep, that's wild.
By putting a filter halfway over it. And if I wanted to, see these guys here, there was tons of them before.
That thing is like super quick.
Oh yeah, these all are fast, dude. These things can just flat out fly. Those scope.
That amazes me how fast they are. Like on that little slide that you got on there, that little bit of water. Just that. I mean, it's crazy to me how
you
got two pieces of glass smashed together, all right, with a little bit of thin layer of water in there, and there are multiple layers to see, and these things are just zooming around there like it's like the endless universe, and it's between two pieces of glass. You know what I mean?
and I'll reiterate, dude.
Look at that.
This is you can grow this in a tote. It's kind of like Tony Stark built that in a cage, right? Like you can grow this in a tote, and give it some compost at the bottom to give it nitrogen. And the implications of Azola are amazing. I just got dumped on by someone who's been growing it. He's 100 years old. And oh my goodness, dude, I've got all the agronomy work on it. I've got just everything that you find in this stuff. Why not use it for a mulch? Why not use it in your compost? Why not use it in your super soils? Feed it to your chickens.
Yeah.
Extractions. You know I'm extracting this stuff. It's high in nitrogen. It's a nitrogen bomb. I like making nitrogen bombs. And if I can make it obviously out of organic stuff, and you can grow it in warm weather. I'm growing it outside in under a sunshade. They don't like full sun.
So let's tie this all together. Let me tie this all together real quick. Let me see if I can understand. So what do you mean that you can inoculate a pile, so to speak? So you can take a small amount, like a handful, so to speak. And what would be your process in order to inoculate, like, say, a pile of IMO 3 or 4? Like, let's just say you got a 30-gallon tote, and you sent me basically a sandwich bag, full of your compost. And then how do I get that and put it into my system to make my plants grow better? Like, what do I need to put them in, and how do I create that same world that they're going to survive in when I buy your stuff? You know what I mean?
Well, you're talking about the Azola surviving, or you're talking about
like your like getting diverse compost, and like a what do you call it? A biocomplete compost.
Well, yeah. So biocomplete is coined by the Soil Food Web and Elaine Ingham, and biocomplete, they have their numbers. And this is my beef with the word biocomplete is one that it's been proprietarized. You can't even say it without, it's ours. But they have a select amount of numbers. We want to see this many bacteria. We want to see this many protozoa. We want to see this many nematodes. And once you reach that great number in 1 gram of soil, or however those counts go, and I am in the Soil Food Web, then you're considered biocomplete when you reach this chart that Elaine Ingham put together and said, we're going to call it, you want X amount of fungi, you want X amount of all this. Now, we don't have a problem being biocomplete here, dude, because we do go the extra mile to dump food into the system. Look at this guy.
Right.
You see this?
And how often do you have to feed like a compost to keep these things active and alive? Really, it's just about water, right? Is it just about...
You want to water your system, but so I grow compost, I grow soil, so I take care of my soil the way you would take care of your plant. I go out and I this thing's like walking. My bad.
No, that shit's crazy.
I'll go out and I'll refeed my compost pile if it's been sitting long enough, and I guess it's called cooking the soil, right? It's no different when people go put all these nutrients into their potting mix. They're feeding the microbes, and this is why they're cooking it. And you got to let it cook for 2 weeks because it's going to get hot again. Because these microbes, due to friction, right? Just like Matt would say, if you're at home with your wife or your family, whatever you're doing in the room, you're creating heat with friction. And this is why compost piles end up getting hot like that. But when you go put Azola in the system, you're adding, I'll do it straight up. I can inoculate it many different ways. I can extract it with the power of the microbe, which we don't even have time to get into with that. I can just shake it into my soils, my potting mixes, knowing that in a week or two, that's going to start breaking down. Now I'm going to start getting a slow release of nutrient, right? Or I could throw it into a hot pile and let all that happen as well. I like the extraction side of things because I like the idea that I've got.
So you're just putting it in a pile. You like if I was gonna get a small bag of, let's just say the biocomplete compost, and I want to extract it and put it into my 4x4 bed that I'm growing my flowers.
Right. So
am I just going to put it in a 5-gallon bucket, slosh it around, extract it?
Very easy. You turn it into a tea bag, bro. You take a bag, you take a paint strainer, you take 1 gallon. The power of this stuff, some of the guys are using at 3 pounds per acre. So a true biocomplete compost has got so much life in it that at 3 pounds per acre broadcasting it, but all you're doing is making it not a tea. You take a bag, you massage it into the water, shake all those microbes out into the water, and then now you water your bed with that, right? And now you can do that. And in your case too, you can amend. You've got such a controlled system. You got such tight controls on your system that you
Yeah,
can.
I'm not really talking about my system. I'm talking about like if
Anybody
somebody
in general?
can
Yeah.
utilize like
Power-
people are growing in 30-gallon pat or 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah, the extraction is going to be all the way, dude. And then I always call it packing them a lunch, sending them with some feed.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're going to send it in with kelp, especially if I'm fixing a system. Like I've seen soils that are completely dead, bro, completely dead. And I come over with some compost, show them how to run that extraction and start adding this life into the soil. But you got to also add things that they're going to eat and go in there and feed on. And I also add things that are going to help amend that sand, you know, things that take on and hold energy, you know, biochar in pulverized form. In sand, it's a big deal. Things like, you know, things that are going to hold, retain water, because in sand, it just shoots right through and goes straight down to the water tables, right? So
this is why the sand, silt, and clay. These three.
you need them all. You need them all, bro.
You can't just have sand. You got to have the sand. You got to have the silt. You got to have a little bit of clays. All this with the organic matter, the broken down organic matter, all this comes like a sponge for water.
If you don't have them all, you have a problem.
Yeah,
you know, because you're either wicking too hard, or I mean, you're not holding enough, or you're holding too much. And you know, we have a mineral problem here, right? We don't have minerals. We're all sand. Other than sand, I mean, we need minerals. So you'll catch, you know, if we're buying anything, we're buying minerals. We're buying rock dust. We're buying things like that are gonna, you know, as far as everything else, we can make it. Why not grow your input, man? Whatever grows well, that's a green manure in your region, grow it, and then chop it, and then cook it, man. Break it down, put it through a mulcher, throw it in with microbes. There's so many different ways to pull the benefits out of that. Look at this thing that I'm making right now. It's got over 40 components in it, bro. It's a joke. You know, it started as a joke. It literally did. It was like, okay, everyone's got a very specific dialed in. You know, I got 3 pieces of comfrey leaf with, you know, 1 star anise. And what I'm like, listen, dude, put it in the bag, bro. Let's
put it in the bag and shake it up.
There's only a handful of things that I'm worried about: stabilizing it, holding the pH, and that's why it's a 3 ferment process. Because I'm being asked left and right. Yeah, it's 3 because I can control every separate process and then combine them. And imagine the implications of all of that and all the hormones. Who knows, bro? Maybe it'll blow something up. Maybe it'll kill something. I doubt it. But why not throw everything in there and find out, you know? And it's not like it's, I mean, how many opportunities am I gonna have to throw all of that in there? Because I mean, I've got stuff. I got people giving me stuff now locally. Like, hey, throw this in your concoction, you know?
Yeah.
Cool, dude. We've got some pretty rare stuff. Diversity, right? If you understand endophytes, listen, the plant when it pulls its endophytes, the microbes get sucked into the plant. And that's a whole different conversation on rhizophagy and how it does that. But it'll save some of those microbes that may go get it phosphorus, for example. Yeah. Right? So here's whooping everyone's ass in the root zone, inside the root, but it's saying, yeah, you're gonna go do work for me later. So you're gonna be cool, right? And man, it's completely nuts, dude. And when you start understanding that, and when you start understanding how these microbes work, and you start understanding that you can train microbes, when you understand that you have the power to train your microbes to work your soil the way you want them to work your soil, you start changing your grow, period.
This is why I like to talk about when I'm in live or I'm talking about my videos. Like, these are my workers. Like, when I'm looking at the workers on top of the soil, like my isopods and all the critters that I can see. Yeah, you know, I know if those are happy, then what Mo and me are looking at, you know, in soil discoveries, I know what I send him is going to be good because I see my workers doing the work on top. I see the worms, I see all the diversity, and then I know that they're making the soil to go on to the next process where all the, you know, the ciliates and flagellates and all the things that are microscopic take it to the plant level. You know, so it's just a staged process of breaking down organic matter. And it's so simple, yet so extremely complicated. It's crazy.
Well, that when you listen to Nick with Fruited Leaf, bro,
Yeah.
what? Okay, and he starts talking about photosynthesis, and he starts talking about that oxygen evolution complex and how it's all happening in the leaf. And what is happening? The plant is an alien, bro. It is an alien, and it is saying, "Dude, I got this. Like, hold on, move out of the way." And it was very hard for me to say that. Hey, microbes, move out, bow down to the plant, because everything we look at, everything we touch, everything in front of you right now is made by plant. It's made by photosynthesis. It's made by sunshine and bubblegum, baby. Like, dude, it's just like we should just do sunshine and bubblegum, And it's made with CO2, water, and sunlight. Everything we're looking at on this planet is nuts, man. I can't get enough of that, man. And I will.
Yeah, when you think about it, a lot of people don't think about it like that.
No. This definitely ain't a plug, man. But if you guys don't know who Nick with Rooted Leaf is, go look at what he's talking about, because he's preaching the truth, bro. He's preaching it, man, and he's just giving this data and information out that just helps at least me better understand. Whoa, that's happening in the leaf, man. This is a powerful.
Yeah, you have to have a little, in order to listen to somebody like that, you have to have a little bit more. Now, you can't be in the the kindergarten stage. You need to be towards the college stage. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I'm the type of person that I want to know what they're talking about over there, and then I'll say, okay, cool, I'm gonna pick that up. Look, I'm gonna quote him here because it blew me away that night we had him on the Monday night with the Regenerates. He says that if we are in the likeness of God, then I'd like to believe that plants are in the intelligence. That is so sick, dude. How smart this system is, and how dialed it is, man. It's and then we get to look at it. We get to look at this.
It's quantum. It's a quantum being. It's
it is, bro. Whatever, and that's whatever your God is, bro. Like, look at this. How do you deny this? See, I was borderline atheist, bro. I really was. How do I deny this? They're creating life, man. I mean, that's just fact. That's their whole goal here. Their whole mission. They don't even know it. That's my question. I start sitting here after a couple, putting one in the air. Like, do they even know what they're doing, or they're just eating, dude? They're just like my clumsy dog. They're just like my clumsy dog, brother. Just eat, hang out, eat, and in the process, they're creating life.
Well, you can think about everything on the planet. Every living being on the planet is basically, that's what it's doing. It's made to live, and it's made to die and carry on a cycle. Boom, boom, boom. We are,
and they're also expelling frequencies, dude. They're also expelling frequencies, man. Signals, frequencies that we can't hear. Yeah. But we know some guys that are out there with these sonic blooms on their property, and the birds that chirp, because the birds chirping are waking up the plants, waking up rubisco, waking up photosynthesis, saying, let's go. Why would the bird be doing that? Because the bird needs to eat too, and the bird needs that plant photosynthesizing, because the bird needs berries from that tree. It is all connected.
It's like the rooster crowing in the morning to let everybody know, hey,
wake up, dude, wake up. And that's just it, man. That's just it. This is what we do, and this is why I'll never get enough of it, because there's no end. The deeper I go, the more I'm like, dude, there's more. If there's more and more, and the more things I observe and the more things I see, this is just a mimicry of
cow horns in your front yard here shortly, facing north with the horn up, filled with shit.
Biodynamics, dude. That's what's happening. We're plugged in, bro. I know the boys over there and on the West Coast at Cure Soil are doing that. They're doing dynamic composting.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? We've done it at the garden. I mean, and guess what? The biology tells you a different story as well.
When you get the information and you realize that it goes a little bit deeper and it goes a little bit deeper, next thing you know, those birds make complete sense in the morning. Burying the cow horn makes complete sense, where it was voodoo at one point. Then you get information, and now you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna go bury some cow horns.
Bury some cow horns and point them at the moon. You know, I've been schooled. I've been schooled by these people out in Mexico that reached out. I'm talking about, you know, regenerators for 40 years, and they're like, dude, you need to harvest your microbes at the full moon, because the full moon, the way it pulls the ocean up, is also pulling moisture up from the ground, and you're bringing your microbes up. So if you're going to be harvesting microbes, they're telling me harvest them at the full moon. Now, I've been in Durango, Mexico. My family's from Mexico.
Yeah.
They don't chop trees until a full moon, because apparently the tree is easier to chop, and this is how they build their log cabins. They won't. A lot of them, including my pops, won't get a haircut until it's a new moon. And these are just things that, if you go deep into the woods of Mexico, this is what they're telling you. So igrosoil needs 24 more subs to reach 1K. Dude, I'm about to reach 1K in my channel. That's a trip. I started my channel for me to learn, because I couldn't, and to share with Rick over at Gardens and Glass. I was like, hey, check this thing out that you just bought. It's trash, right? Yeah. And that's cool. That's pretty dope. It's been fun growing that channel, man. It's a learning piece for me. But I've got a million questions still, bro, and I love that. I love that I have a million questions still, because that just means that this journey's nowhere near over, you know. And I think that if everybody just understands it and respects the life, bro, and then understands it, it's living, dude. The same way I would take care of my dog. These microbes on our body, we're 90% microbe, man, and that's a fact. So when you start understanding how to even feed these things, I mean, my health has improved significantly, and I hope in a year or two, I'm gonna be like, hey, that's, I was. You think I'm a big guy now? I was way bigger, bro. When I was before I got sick, I was honestly on my deathbed, and I thought, okay, we'll see. We're gonna put the faith in the microbes, dude. And man, I think that if everyone just put a plant in the ground, bro. You know, all this stuff about how do you fix soil, bro. Yeah, we need to push it a little bit. We need help, and we need to give it, because we've destroyed it. But we can fix it. And the beauty is we can fix it. And it's not difficult, man. I could do it with a bunch of kids on a Sunday, bro, and then go back on Tuesday, and we'll be able to pull the sample and say, look, there's a bunch of life there. And as long as we steward it just a little bit until we get it breathing on its own again, because, you need 45% oxygen in your soil. So compaction, we won't get into that, bro. That's all I'll consult.
It can happen fast. You can regenerate soil quickly.
I did it in 7 days, bro. If you go look at our future, 7 days, I had that soil breathing. I had that soil moving life just by feeding it a little bit, giving a little mulch. And I get, a lot of people reach out to me, and I always try my best to answer every one of them, because I'll tell you, one of the biggest rewards here was people during Thanksgiving me sending pictures of stuff they grew from the techniques that we were doing on my channel. I never expected that. And that's just a W, man. I mean, they're showing me their spread on the table, and that just that's what it's all about. So anyway,
100%, bub. 100%.
Let's get it. Let's grow your soil, bro. That's it. Look at this thing. So I'll just keep scoping, man. You do what you got to do, Rick.
What the hell is that in the middle there?
That looks like some type of plant cell or something.
It's built. It's definitely built that structure for sure.
Yeah, it could have been a root.
Mo, I really want to thank you for joining us and sharing. I really appreciate it. And Mo has agreed to stay for the whole show. And there's a few things I want to cover, but I like Dave and Josh and Mo. I kind of want you guys to take over here. Josh, if you've got to give us an update on your place. I know you finally got a fish in the water there. And of course, we've got at the bottom of the hour the giveaway for the Lost Coast Plant Therapy. But you guys, did you want to set something up, Josh? Oh, and Mugwort is our. You
just want me to share your Instagram, Josh, like normal?
Yeah, if you want, you can pull mine up, and then I don't, if you've been following along, we just we added we call him Shiner Junior.
Shiner Junior. I heard that. I didn't hear the junior part.
Junior. This is the replacement of Shiner that we killed. So he's the first. Shiner was the first fish we caught down at the reservoir.
Okay, the one that got eaten by the turtle?
No, he never was eaten. He hid very well till he got big enough where they wouldn't eat him. And then I killed him in the crash. That was the first fish that died off in the crash. So, we built a new garden, and I threw the minnow trap down there about a week ago, and I went down there the other day and I actually had a new little baby shiner in there. So we put him in the pond a couple of days ago, and I actually saw him this morning. So he's still alive.
I guess that's a question for Mo there, I guess.
Yeah. Mo said he's done it in a week.
I did it in 7 days. When you just send in microbes, send in food, and send in things that are gonna hold. Understand that there's energy in your soil, and if you cannot hold electrons in the soil, like sand doesn't do a good job of holding it. Clay, there's a whole nother side of this, and it's the redox, right? And that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But understand that you need things to hold moisture and life, and mulch. You need to protect the soil. If I'm going to give you information, cover your soil, because the sun is creating something called the Fenton reaction that is blasting your nitrogen and your carbon right out of your soil. And so if you cover that, you water that, and you cover it with mulch, and if that's the best you can do, in a couple weeks, you're going to have life starting to circulate in there. And if you got to till it, till it. If it's dead, you're not killing anything. This whole no-till, complete no-till thing, here we are chasing these rules again. If my soil is dead, I'm tilling it because I need to get oxygen in there before anything else.
That's right.
Have you got something more current there, Dave?
This was 6 days ago, so it was the day after our last show. Kind of give everybody.
We're close. I've got a couple. I've cut the top out of a couple of the Argeline. And so I've got those in the Cantrol, but these are still, I haven't cut any more just because I'm still kind of ripening the underside of these tops. And so another couple days and they'll be ready to come on in. And then we'll leave we're going to leave the bottom for another probably 5 or 6 days. And then we'll have room for the Canatrol, so we can fill the Canatrol, dry the tops, take the tops out of the Canatrol once they're dry, and put them in the Grove bag with a BB cure, and then reload.
So how much downtime do you think you lost from the crash? I know you're around day 70 now, right?
About a week.
71.
About a week and a half, yeah. I mean, that's, the plants really looked bad for, about a week, maybe 10 to about 2 weeks maybe. And then, it took us about a week to really start seeing the algae start to come back, change the lights up a little bit. And then, a month went by. We're about, almost 40 days past that day. And all the flower turned out to be really nice, actually.
And so other than the fact that it's taking longer,
I mean, the terps are insane in there. It's insane, the terply. I mean, it's probably from the crash. You know what I mean? Like the stress from the crash, and the plants really had to work, through that little bit of time to recover.
That's like I was talking to some pepper growers, right? And I've been kind of deep diving in capsaicin, and some of these plants. I'm like, walk by your plant, and take a bite out of it. There's a certain, like a tomato plant, for example. Once it gets chewed up by a bug, it'll take a sample of that saliva from that bug, and then start releasing a hormone that calls forward the predator to that bug. So
that's crazy.
I mean, because when your plant went through that stress, it just started just pushing, right? And that's got to be. So that's why when I planted my mango trees here, I took a pressure washer to them, start preparing them for these crazy weathered storms. And by the way, they survived 3 hurricanes. Just saying, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Yeah, it's I had a couple of friends come over the other day, and I was like, here, just smell this leaf right here. Just one little leaf. It was just like, immediately he was just like, man, that smells like freaking like the milk at the bottom of your cereal bowl after you finish some Fruit Loops. Yeah, with a little bit of sour kick to it at the end. It's like, it's just, I mean, and the whole room just smells delicious. I mean, you leave the house down. I mean, you probably walk 100 yards and still smell it. It's probably some of the nicest. I won't say it's probably the terpiest, but it's definitely something happened during that crash that made those
Yeah.
do what they did. Because I was ready to cut them down. Like they were bad. They looked.
Oh, they looked terrible.
This is embarrassing to put on camera every day. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna have a bunch of dead plants in here, but with Mo's knowledge and everybody's help, and I did the water change. I did what I was supposed to do. I changed the lights, and a week and a half later, everything was just starting to come. You could see it. You could see the grass starting to grow green.
Yeah.
You could see the algae starting to grow. You could see the flowers really start to perk back up, and the leaves start to perk back up. They were still dead, like not dead, but basically you could see that it was just a complete lockout. Like the plants were just not taking up nutrient at all. And then I sent Mo the sample, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, your shit is fucked." I was like,
Shot.
"Your shit is fucked. That was fucked. The plants are telling me it's fucked."
It was clear as day too. It wasn't even like, okay, kind of, because he told me. I was like, dude, all your amoeba, everything went dormant.
Yeah,
like, nah, we're not doing this.
They didn't die. They don't die. They just fucking go dormant. They cyst up and they wait for the conditions to turn normal again, and then they'll spring back to life.
But what did spring back? What came out of his nematodes. So everything went dormant, and it's like the workhorses for that particular chaotic situation woke up and started and continue to process nutrients, because there's always something in there that's like archaean microbes, right? When we have oil spills, we throw archaeans at it, and these archaean microbes are this is what they eat, oil, right? And if there's no oil, they senesce. They go away for quite a while. So yeah, with that. And by the way, Josh, I think it was my pina colada mango when we had that cold snap here.
Yeah.
It went to fruit, which means it wanted to seed because it was going to die, and it died. And when I saw that it was starting to fruit, I thought this thing is gone. Because it was too early in the season. That's how smart they are. Maybe your bud doesn't have nuts on it, but it's still this is how it reproduces. This is how it reproduces, right?
That's fucking why my peach tree does what it does every year. It buds because it gets to the point like it's so sensitive to the heat. We had some hot time, and it'll flower super early. My other one out here that produced fruit this year for the first time that I could actually pick off and eat was a cut off of the peach tree that I planted out back like 5 years ago. And I can't get any peaches because it flowers so early in the season. And then I get these little peaches that grow, and then they don't finish off. And then they just die off for some reason. But the cut I took off the peach tree and threw out here on the sidewalk here, it rooted. And that was like 3 years ago. And I don't do anything to it. It doesn't get any light. All I do is piss on it every day. And I get fruit off of it. It's crazy, but maybe that's what's wrong with the peach tree. It just wants to flower so fast early, and then, like what you said, it just dies off. I don't know.
It wants to survive, bro, and if it knows it's gonna die, it's over with. It's like when I saw those little mangoes on that little mango tree, and I was like, this thing is gone. It didn't make it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, dude. Sure enough, it was out the door.
You can't believe how many people give me shit for touching my buds with bare hands. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm touching those buds with your bare hands. I was like, I ain't selling my shit. I'm gonna rub it. I'm gonna bathe in my terpenes. I'm gonna rub it all over me.
Yeah, that's a different podcast, dog.
Yeah. I'm rubbing it all over me. I don't care.
My only fans.
Yeah.
So does anything suffer when you go to 12 and 12? Anything else other than, you know what I mean?
No. And I'm actually ramping up right now. I'm at 14 hours of light right now. So I was at 12, and then A week ago, I went to 13. And then just 2 days ago, I went to 14. And I'm going to go to 15, and then it's all coming out. And then I'll end up on 16 back into bed. So I probably won't go any higher than 16 hours because of I'm going to be growing vegetables next door. So I'm just going to be I'm going to mix kind of everything up. So instead of I think I've decided instead of growing all my vegetables in one side and then all the flour in the other side, I'm just going to mix it up. You know what I mean? I'll have some tomato over here and I'll have some cannabis over there, and I'm just going to mix it all up. Wherever it fits the best, that's where I'll put it. But it'll take me a couple of runs to figure out where I want the beans and the tomatoes, where everything does the best. You know what I mean? Some things don't need a lot of light, some things need a lot of light. So, we'll just figure it out as we go along. But no, the 12, like the tomato, it doesn't care. It's 12 or 16, it's doing its thing.
So, Josh, you said you added another dehumidifier to the.
Yeah.
Now,
which helps out a lot.
Do they both drain into the same reservoir, or do you have them draining into?
Yeah, well, each one's for each pond, so each pond's separate.
Okay.
We got two different ones, so we got one behind one behind the other, and they're going to feed into both. One feeds into the creek, just tops it off, basically. It's pretty nice too. Is that 60% humidity? It'll hold it. 60. If I set it at 60 with just the one dehumidifier, I would set it at 60, and I could keep the humidity around 63 to 65. Mm-hmm. If I put it down at 55, it would hold it around 60.
Okay.
Now with two of them, I can set them both at 60, and I hear them cut off on and off quite a bit. So actually, it seems like having two is more beneficial.
Efficient.
More efficient than having one, because now I'm not running both of them. One was running all the time. Now they're cutting on and off because putting enough moisture out, keep it at that 60%.
Yeah.
It's been working out pretty good so far.
Good.
Oh yeah.
So before the show, Mo, I was asking you about the different products that you market, and if you have a website or Instagram or some way of promoting it. And basically, I wasn't impressed with your answer. It was kind of like, well, if I've got it, I got it, and if I don't, well, then I don't. So this isn't a good way to sell your products, my friend. But you did mention a couple of items that you are quite proud of. One, your purple non-sulfur bacteria.
Yeah. So I keep purple. I keep certain products on hand because the power of them, right? I never intended to become a product selling guy, but I have enough of it that, I do sell it. And most people, I teach them how to culture it out, because I think everyone should have purple non-sulfur bacteria on hand. And that's something that, I could spend a whole show talking about it, but it is an assassin, dude. It'll a toxin killer. It is it's 15% phosphorus by dry weight, right? This thing moves phosphorus. It's a photosynthetic bacteria. It's got the ability to in a consortium of microbes, it is the conductor. It'll take your efficient microorganisms, for example, something like an EM or whatever they sell out there, and it is the one that manages everyone and keeps them in check. Yeast, for example, if yeast starts trying to take over, it starts controlling it changes its metabolism to start controlling yeast. If purple non-sulfur bacteria runs into a toxin like chromium is the most recent example I have in my mind, it'll take a cysteine protein, rip off some sulfur from it, attach it to that chromium, and turn that chromium from a soluble state to a nanoparticle that's no longer uptakeable. Right. So, and that's just one metabolic pathway. And this is just one thing that I'm talking about with this bacteria. And while it'll do that while fixing nitrogen and photosynthesizing at the same time, it is to me the gangster of all gangsters, dude. It'll take your cookies, bro. You know what I mean? If you're faking moves. And what blows me away, and I haven't told Josh that I'm gonna start this research, is when it'll outcompete algae for nitrogen. It's used in ponds. It's used in aquariums, and you got to be careful with purple non-sulfur in aquariums. You got to respect the science there, because if you're dealing with aquariums that have coral, right? Coral will take it in. It'll manage the system though. But when Josh applied it to his bed, it actually started growing algae in that area, which maybe started fixing nitrogen in that area for algae, understanding that the system is stressed, understanding that there's a problem, and understanding that it's crazy, you know. And then I've recently humic acid. I've known him for a while, and he's this old guy that used to stomp around with and I can't even speak on this guy, but with a vein and back in the day, and he's got this humic acid. And when I started talking to him, I couldn't understand him. I had to stop him and apologize. I was like, bro, I'm sorry, dude. I don't even understand you. He's a chemist, 40-year chemist, right? So here I am, full circle, understanding a lot more. And this thing is shooting a negative 227 on the ORP meter, which just means it's a jug filled with energy. And so if you're looking for anything I have, hit me up on Instagram at igrosoil. And when I have it, I definitely kick it out, you know, and you're not gonna pay $50,000 for it, bro. It's just, and I'd be more than happy to teach you how to extend it so that you're growing it on your property, right? And I've got a lot more that I need to show. I mean, time is everything, and yeah, Rick, I'm gonna start dialing it in though. I just got plugged in hardcore with some serious compost that was actually built by the Catalyst Bioamendment team that came here. It's been sitting for 2 years, and the biology on it is nuts, and I've got endless rows of it now. So, you know, I just keep growing, man. I keep pushing this thing, and I want to help farmers, and I want to explain that this stuff, how to use it. You know, the biology is all that matters at the end of the day. It's not all that matters, but you need the workers. You can have a construction site with all the material there, but if you have no one working it, it's not going to get done.
And you don't know how to use it.
You don't know how to use it, right? And it goes vice versa, right? This is the whole battle between chemistry and biology, right? And then, so, you know, once I learned to work the two, and then I started getting smarter with redox and understanding that there's a balance in everything. And once you're able to control certain inputs and certain things, you can pretty much biosteer anything. So I feel like I didn't answer your question again, Rick, and I'm bad, but I guess I'm putting an infrastructure together because I'm being asked enough. And you know, if we're not somehow making money doing this, then I'm gonna end up back running a construction company, and that's just never gonna happen. So, but consulting is my thing too. Let's get your soil. Let's certify. I mean, not certify, but verify it. That's another thing I love doing. I love being able to say, hey, dude. And I think that everything with a QR code that'll take you to my website if I verified it. That way, if you go buy a product and I happen to have that reviewed on my site, you know, then you can go look at it. Forget having to trust things, because, you know, why have to trust if we can just verify?
Well,
Right
trust but verify.
For sure.
Verify.
Mo, you also spend time teaching children how to do composting.
Yes, yeah. So we've got a little homeschool co-op. Being that I'm not a teacher and I don't have, you know, nor do I want to be. I don't want to go get that license. You know, I want to teach kids that they love. They're the future, man. You know, if I always think that if I had seen this when I was young, like actually visually seen it, for someone like me who needs to see things to believe them, or be able to visualize by learning by visualization, God, I learned from them. It's amazing that these little kids are teaching me, right? And they come up with, oh, how fast do you think that thing is moving? Like 10 miles an hour. And that threw me into a rabbit hole. Why are these moving faster than these others? And then 10 days later, come out of the research like, whoa, which changed my whole philosophy on it's because of the kids that I changed a lot of my philosophy on what is anaerobic and what is oxic and suboxic, right? What is, you know, in science, these labs, apparently they use like oil to observe a true anaerobic microbe, because the obligate anaerobe means it's obligate lives in anaerobic conditions or it dies. So when I take a little pipette like this and I take a little sample of soil like this and I stick this in here, I just introduced a shitload of oxygen, right? And then I come and I put it on a slide, there's even more oxygen. So what we're looking at are microbes that are now thriving in oxygenated conditions. But anyway, these kids for sure important, man, and it's become a passion of mine, dude. It's just I never thought I'd be teaching kids, but kids make me nervous, man. They do, and you know the bricks meter. Oh, dude, that's one of the best tools you can give a kid. If you're teaching kids, get one of these $20 bricks meters and have them start testing bricks in food. Mangoes, you know, tomatoes, and they'll start nailing the numbers too. I think that's a 7, Mr. Mo. You know, and they're really good at it. You know, so it's keeping them engaged. But I had a mother
like, yep, that's a 7. Yep, that's a 9.
They're nailing it, yeah. You know, I had a mom come to me after one of the classes, and she was wondering why her daughter, you know, the next day was gardening with her and asking her. Or telling her that we need to be careful and take care of the microbes. And the mom had been gardening all her life and didn't no idea what she was talking about. So that's a victory, bro. You know, that right there just put a seed into the future, you know, and if we keep seeding the future, then we might pull out pretty good at the end of the day here, or at least say that our generation helped fix the problem that was caused by us. You know, we're toxic, but it's fixable, man. It really is, dude. Including the poisons. These microbes are they're eating these poisons, man. And we're doing testing with that as well.
Most of the time, the best way to fix it is to get the hell out of the way.
Well, unfortunately, we can't now because we've done damage.
That's
right?
a problem. We
you go to the forest, though. You think the forest, kid? You think that you're inoculating the forest? Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all designed so perfectly, bro. The leaves fall, they get broken down into the soil, which is feeding its own DNA, it's feeding its own genetics, right? This is why your chop and drops are a big deal, because you're dropping the same genetics and the same genes into that soil.
Yep.
So Miranda unfortunately couldn't make it to join us tonight. She's having internet and power issues. But she's here in spirit because she agreed to be our seed sponsor this week. So, Dave, can you tell everybody what's going on here?
Yeah, put that name you see in on the screen, type it in down the chat, and you will be entered into a race. I'm not sure what the race is going to be, but it's going to be a race. It won't be a duck race because we're going to have one of them later on.
Right on.
And I don't know the seed pack either. She
may
have mentioned it, but I don't remember.
So we'll put you in touch with Miranda, and good luck. Good luck. Mo and Josh, we touched on earlier before the show started about things that blow my mind. And like I said, it doesn't take a lot to blow this little mind. But I just assumed, like I was going to say like most people, but no, I can't say that because I didn't know, or I assumed that most of our oxygen came from trees in the forest and what have you. But was led to understand that this week that 4/5 of our oxygen comes from the ocean. And it just took me back, Josh, to your experience there and how, you know, like it would have taken me forever to figure out that problem.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought of oxygen. I mean, I know it's important.
Well, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have either. You know, but I saw it happen with my own eyes. You know, I mean, that was the whole thing. Like, you know, that meant everything. And then having people like Mo to tell me, yeah, this is what's happening. This is what you saw. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to have somebody explain what I saw, that's everything in problem solving. Like, being able to know what happened, how it happened, and how we solve the problem.
Well, it's like the great oxygenation happened like 250 billion years ago or something like that. I don't know, some crazy number like that. If there's a billion in there, I don't even care about the number. But before that, there was no oxygen. So it all started with cyanobacteria, the blue-green algae, spirulina. That's where it all started from. That and purple non-sulfur. That's why I tend to call them the primal trinity with these guys. So it started there, but you've got these kelp. You've got kelp is the fastest. I think kelp grows, and don't quote me on this, but I think it's like a foot or two a day.
Oh,
that's how aggressive this thing grows. And they are, you know, what threw me down that rabbit hole was what happens in Alaska. I think in Alaska they go like a couple months without daylight,
Mhm.
So how are people getting their oxygen and stuff? You know, how are you breathing comfortably? And it's all the ocean, man. Yeah, the ocean's a powerful thing. And the deeper I dive into the ocean, I'm using it in my ferments. As a matter of fact, this crazy stuff that I'm making now is part of it. You know, like trout and the fish, they don't get cancer in the ocean. So these fish don't get cancer in the ocean, and it's a big problem out in freshwater. And when you start realizing this, you know, there's something magical about the ocean that is. I mean, I don't like using magical because it sounds fake, but there's something real about it that is healing. You know, it's just the trace minerals in it. That's why you go and you go to the beach, your skin just absorbs all that, and so and then you got all that kelp in there, just pulling sunlight, and man, it's amazing, bro. Yeah, that's pretty deep. You can go deep with that, Rick. There's so many different avenues I started going when I went there with that. You know, these kelp farms down there that are just pushing. So you see the bubbles coming up. It's impressive stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing planet.
Gold coming out of my creek. You know, I pointed out.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's got it all happening there, and it's working as a filter. I mean, that creek has taught me so much. That his pond is again. I always say this is going to be the closest thing you're going to get to a truly living system, because and the reason I say that is because he's a closed loop. But the life doesn't stop there. His nutrients keep. If I left my compost alone, eventually all the life is going to kind of just senesce and go to sleep. His doesn't, because everything keeps moving. All the nutrients keep moving. So,
Dave,
give me 3 seconds.
Oh, look at the soul guys want something.
So up in there.
Yeah,
this is just to get
real quick.
through the race.
I'm gonna do this real quick.
Okay, as long as we know Dirk is in the back room.
Stangman 420, cool little icon.
Yeah, congrats. See a lot of new faces there. So what Dave is doing now is drawing a series of numbers and winners here. Good luck, Roger, and the winner will win some seed packs from Miranda.
This was cool. What are they called? Icon for thumbnails, pictures.
Oh yeah, Captain.
So this is all going into a pool now or drawing.
Yeah, Dave is going to do a race later.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
We're gonna have to make them quick. I got a lot to do here, so.
Yeah, Dirk is joining us, so that'll be fun.
All right, way to go, guys. We'll set that race up. Good luck, everybody that was in it, and let's introduce Dirk real quick.
Dirk.
There he is.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show. Welcome, Dirk.
Good to see you guys.
Dirk, you've probably met Josh before. And
Oh, yeah.
Mo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and Mo, meet Dirk.
Nice to meet you, Dirk.
Nice to meet you, Mo.
Dirk's our sponsor for Lost Coast Plant Therapy right there.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, so once a month we Dirk we do a draw for a 32-ounce bottle of Lost Coast Plant Therapy and some fabulous merch. To enter the draw, all you have to do is make a $5 donation to the Last Prisoner Project, or write a letter to a legislator. You know, we've got some important laws coming up or being changed in the future. So find out what your legislator's opinion is of these new laws coming up, or write a letter to a prisoner. I'm sorry, who said something?
I was clearing my throat.
It's gone.
Sorry.
Anyway, Dirk, so good to see you. I'm sorry we missed you last month. I do remember, though, I was talking with you, or I sent you a message maybe about an hour before the show, and you said, right on, we'll see you in an hour. And then you had to go out and feed your horses. And I guess while you were in the stable, you thought, God damn it, I'm supposed to be doing something. Now, what is it?
And I can't even blame that on smoke, damn it.
Well, you're going to have to come up with some better excuse. How have you been, sir? How have you been? I think you had another show in Toronto, did you?
Yeah, I didn't go. I had some things I had to do here, but I think Heather went, my stepdaughter.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good show, as usual.
Dirk, I know that Lost Coast Plant Therapy is a family business. Tell us about the family that is involved with with Lost Coast.
Sure. My daughter, Chloe, and two of my three stepkids, Bree and Heather, are also in it. So three adult kids, my wife and I, we're all working as owners, workers, and of course we work alongside our employees. But it's great because working with family is a treat. You know, I wish everybody got a chance to work with family. I know a lot of families don't get along, but you know, we have our ups and downs also. But you know, generally speaking, we love each other, and it's a family-run thing, and it will be that way always. And it's really tightly run. So we have a lean machine, and everybody is happy, and that's what counts with this. And the product is doing fantastic.
And Jeremy. Congratulations, Jeremy. You're our lucky winner. And Jeremy, I believe I need your address. Let me just quickly Jeremy, yes, I need your address, Jeremy. If you send it to my email, and it's in the show description. It's Let's Be Buds Show Live at gmail.com, and include your shirt size. Who knows? You may be lucky enough to win a T-shirt to go with it.
Hey Dirk, can I ask about your product? Can I ask what it is? I think I saw there a fungicide.
Yes, it's a insecticide fungicide, and it works on soft-bodied insects and all types of fungals. You know, if it's put on weekly, which pretty much everything is done now around the world, not just cannabis but food, fruit, orchards, flowers. The pH is changed for fungals, so you'll never develop an immunity to it. It doesn't harm terpenes or cannabinoids, even day of harvest or post harvest. And it attracts bees, ladybugs, praying mantis. It does all the good things, but decimates soft-bodied. So we just got a study done in Harvard. Everybody else knows this. And we had the 95% efficacy rate actually was 96 for bugs and 97% efficacy rates for fungals. And we're doing another study with Cornell and I think Pennsylvania State on soil and regenerative, live soil, which is the most important thing with anything, whatever you grow.
Of course.
And because we know that regenerative live soil growers love our product. There's a way to use our product with their applications of bio and everything else without killing their soil and everything else. So, but we're getting Cornell to actually do a study now. It'll probably take about a year, like it did with the fungals and the bugs. But we're expanding now in Europe. I think yesterday I got a call from the distributor. We're in 4 or 5 countries. I think we're going to be in a total of 15 or 16 within a month or two. So,
nice.
Yeah, we just got in the first pharmaceutical grow in Lepe, Spain, which is really big because pharmaceutical grows typically don't allow anything added to it. It's you grow it, and if it's good, good. If it's bad, they throw it out. So because of the pharmaceutical grading is much more intense than even California, which we test at parts per billion out here. So we're kind of excited about that. The food industry is still expanding
exciting.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And but we got the cannabis market, THC and hemp pretty much down now throughout the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting. Is it
Yeah.
is it a biological input?
It is an oil based.
Okay.
Everything is food grade, so it doesn't taste good, but you can drink it, as Rick will attest to. But
He's trying it. He's
yeah,
taking on lipids.
yeah.
What I won't do for the team.
No, you can spray it around children. Yeah, you can spray it around kids, year-old children. It can go on your skin, and spraying. And what we found is people have been getting rid of athlete's foot and psoriatic patches that spray with bathing suits during the summer. So, but we're just really happy. I was a reluctant formulator and seller anyway. We've had the product for probably 18 years now, and I think this is our 9th year of selling it to the public. I just didn't want to get into the selling aspect.
Sure.
And but we did, and I'm glad we did, because the kids came back. They're running it globally. Now all I do is just talk to growers, whether it's cannabis, food, doesn't matter. Anybody around the world. You could have one plant or 1.5 million plants. So I still answer the phone and talk to everybody that needs.
Where would you buy it in the U.S.?
We're in about 700 or 800 stores now.
Okay.
Pretty much in every state except for 2. I think we're still in Maine. We're not in Maine, and God, what's the other one? There's another one. Washington State was a hard one to get into, but we finally got into that. And I just leave it up to them. I don't even give them any juice. If they don't want the product in there, I just wait for the agricultural commissioners usually to get a hold of me, because they've had so many growers call up and complain that they can't get it in state, or they can't use it. So people still will use it no matter what, even if they're not allowed to. They'll just take labels off and things like that. But it's very rare anymore that it's not accepted almost anywhere now, especially with the biocertification we got in New Zealand a few months ago. That was huge, because the biocertification from New Zealand is even bigger than the Cornell Ag Department efficacy rates. So we're really happy with that.
That sounds like fun to feed microbes, man. Have you guys done that work yet? Like feeding it, observing microbiology on soil?
I mean, not in a trial way. I mean, that's why we're going to have Cornell University do that for us. Actually, Matt Weingarten, he's going to specifically do that. But we already have, like I said, live soil, and regenerative farmers love our product, because they can use it in conjunction with insects or other bio methods that they use, which is good.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. We need that. It sounds like something we need here versus all the poisons that are killing everything.
Yeah.
If your bees love it, then we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. It's funny how they're attracted to it too. So we have apiaries love our product, and we belong to a few bee societies now because they love the product so much. I mean, I've always loved honey. Not that that's a big deal, but I love honey. But I love what the pollinators do for us, because besides pesticides and climate change and the varroa mite, they're decimating the honey hives, around the world. So it's important that our product doesn't further that along, but actually helps the bees. So we're really excited about that.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Sure.
We'll look into it.
Yeah.
And you have a Canadian distributor?
Yes. Quality. And they just, I think Hydrofarm now got out of Canada, and they took over 200 shops of Eddie's. You probably know who Eddie's is. They just got the Eddie's contract, so we're going to be even in more over there, which is great. Yeah. Canada took us, you guys already know this, but it took almost 6 years to get into. We almost just gave up on them and decided that, we'd still stick with it. But we're glad we did, because we're expanding now quite a bit, not just in cannabis, but the food market in Canada.
There you go.
Hey, Dave, did I send you some product? I know I was supposed to. Thank you. Don't run out. Let me know beforehand so I can send it to you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
And
Yep.
and Mo, I'll definitely send you something. We can exchange emails, and I'll get your address, and I'll send you out a gallon so you could try it and use it.
Yeah, we'll try it out here at the garden, man. We do like to do a lot of control testing and all about it.
Cool.
I'll definitely send you feedback on it over here in this humid, hot weather.
Sweet. Where are you? Where are you?
Florida.
Got it. Yeah, we're in Florida quite a bit now. I probably talk to a Floridian at least once a week now. Before it was quite a bit, but yeah, at least
Good.
once a week now. Yeah.
Well, I'm in a couple of circles here as far as regenerative and a lot of coalitions and stuff that are pulling in farmers. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. If it's something that is natural, I'm all for it.
Yeah. We have a lot of conventional farmers are using our product because it's way less expensive than organics and much less and much more effective than the poisons. So we're happy we're happy that actual conventional farmers are using our product. Which
is there a shelf life on it?
About 6 years.
6 years. Okay.
Yeah,
that's it.
And it is food safe.
It is food. Oh yeah, it's food safe, baby
Smoke
safe.
safe.
Like I said, you can spray it around 6-month-old kids. It's something that is either consumed by a human or put on the skin of a human, which is the isopropyl alcohol. My wife and I tried organic ethanol, and the efficacy rates were too low, and I just wanted something in the mid 90s to high 90s. And with the organic ethanol, it was like in the 60s, which is a drag because I really wanted to use that. I'd much rather use that than dinosaur juice, but it is what it is. And the important thing is that it passes traceability in California. And the last day of harvest to post-harvest, you can use our product without affecting the terpenes or the cannabinoids, like I said, which is important for cannabis. And, who in the hell wants to spray anything wet on any cannabis the last week? But our product, you have to, is the one to use. And, a lot of testing labs out here have proven the point how the product is clean. And people that do use our product solely as a standalone, their terpenal and cannabinoid counts go up a little bit, not much, but they don't go down, and that's the main thing, because you can use our product in IPM systems, but when you start seeing problems, usually one of the other products that are being used along with us. So I'll just tell people to experiment with it, and look at using our product in one quadrant and using your IPM, including our product, and they'll usually see the difference within a week or two easily.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a little bit more fun here before the night's out, so let's
cool.
Give a peck of beans away, shall we?
It's courtesy of Miranda.
Right on.
Oh, banana dolphin.
The fucking banana dolphin.
A fucking banana dolphin in a towel.
Look at the fucking zebra melon water.
The alligator melon.
The hell?
Elephant coconut.
Elephant coconut. Frog tired. Give me a break.
The orange muscle man. I like it.
Uh-oh.
I didn't feel like spelling Robert's name, so I just put him down as Captain.
There you go. And what is he? A coffee cup and
a sword.
Mechanic a fool. He doesn't know. He's moved. Okay. We'll see. Someone's going to be right.
I mean, the elephant's got to win. Come on, elephant.
I like the banana. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like a winner. No. He's gonna
element, I think.
He's gonna slip.
All right, come on. Oh, too bad.
The guys are gonna push.
The captain, look, he's gonna
Nobody's
close.
too far. Oh, here it comes.
Stand
Nuggets.
Nuggets. That's totally trippy, dude. It's got like human legs and shit. Crazy.
Congratulations, Nuggets. I need your Nuggets. I need your contact information, your address, please. Again, Let's Be Buds Show Live at gmail.com. And congratulations.
That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, we're getting near the top of the hour. Winding down, I guess, a little bit here. Mo, I really appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, it goes by really, really quick when you're in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I was a
And
little more aware of time this time. I'm getting better at that. Just,
and yeah, just a reminder, Josh and Mo will be doing their show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And
Well, Matt Powers.
Matt Powers will be
Power
your
show.
oh
guest.
yeah,
Great
that's
show.
like full circle for me, boy. I'll tell you what, that one's personal. To be able to jump that off with Matt, it's huge. That's
What's that
guy's
from
on.
6 to 8?
6 to
That's
8.
from
Yeah.
6 to 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely another level there. I sit in class with him every week. There's a couple of his students here now, and
Could,
I think it'd be cool to be able to pull Matt in, and talk the way he does in class. There's that classroom setting where he just it gets quantum sometimes, man. And it's just I think that it is really cool. The way these things work. It's just so many different people that are doing so many different good things, and I appreciate it.
for sure.
Hey
for
Mo,
sure.
Mo,
Yeah.
what are you talking about with this guy? What do you guys have? What do you have?
Matt Powers of Regenerative Agriculture.
Yeah.
He's #1 best-selling author. I sound like it. He's he teaches he's my microscopy / regenerative soil instructor, permaculture instructor. He's well known in the regenerative circle. And all transparency, man. I originally he gifted me his entry-level microscopy because I was just completely done when I got out of the hospital. And so I was like, I need to make sure that, so I've done he runs our soil summits. So every year, and he's hosted me on his our future and our soil. You'll see a couple of his students, but all the same, he'll bring in people from Ray Archuleta's and just everyone from in that world pulls them together to talk soil, man. This is what we do.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see that's taken off. I mean, I've been a proponent of soil since '68. And people just don't realize how important the soil is. And now what I'm seeing now on these big commercial farms that are ruining the soil that have, 4,000 acres, they're starting to realize finally that they're going to have to change. And it's a little bit more work, but once you do, it's just better for everything. I mean, I'm so glad that it's catching on with non-regenerative type people. And I do see that in the conservative section of agriculture. I'm really just glad to see that it's starting to take off because that's the future. Because everybody was always, you can't grow regenerative for the entire planet, but yes, you can. You could grow within a 300 or 400 mile radius where everybody lives. The truckers won't be involved very much or anything else, but it can be done. It actually has to be done because they're ruining the soil. Conventional growing is ruining the soil. It just is.
It's killing it off completely. And like you said, Dirk, the key word there is it's a little bit of work. It's not hard to do when you really, and you can start.
Not at all.
You can show the savings for the farmer, but we won't get into all that. But yeah, it's definitely doable, and yeah.
And the thing about regenerative, you don't necessarily have to grow a monocrop, and you may not make as much haul or money as the conventional grower, but you'll make more because you're starting to do different things. You're going to be doing honey. You're going to be doing other things that bring that in to where you'll be making as much or more than a regular conventional grower. But as far as the crops concerned together, conventional farmers will blow that away. But regenerative farmers, because they're employing so many different things, they're not going to they're not going to be ruined by the money aspect, which a lot of them, it's important to anybody that grows. They have to meet the bottom line.
And nutrient density is a big thing, man. And and when you're squeezed citrus, Herb Young over there is pushing 8 times more nutrient dense in his fruit than anything out there. 8 times.
There you go.
So you eat one of his fruit. You eat one of his citrus fruits. You'd have to eat 8 of conventional to get the nutrient.
And it's amazing because for a decade plus, I've been, everything's just tastes like water. Everything tastes like water.
Oh, yeah.
And now when you go to these regenerative farms and you chew into something, and it's like, this is what it used to be like. This is the way it is. It's astounding. And people are absolutely shocked. They forgot what strawberries are supposed to taste like, what real apples are supposed to taste like. Citrus. Holy shit. Really good citrus. And you squeeze citrus, you squeeze the juice and you drink it within 5 minutes. People, some people start crying because they've never had orange juice that good, because after 5, 10, 15 minutes, it oxidizes. It's not, no matter what you do. So when they get regenerative grown citrus, fresh squeezed, it's almost like an orgasm. It's just, there's nothing like it. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely agree.
Very cool.
Right on.
Sure.
For
Very
sure.
cool.
For sure. So I just want to say thanks again, Josh. Always appreciate an update around the pool there, my friend. And Dave, and Dave, I'll never take for granted everything you do flipping those switches, buddy. Yeah, you make a hell of a lot easier on this old man. And Dirk, appreciate you doing this for us and our community.
Of course,
very generous. Thank you so much. Dave is going to do an outro, and then if you just stick around, then we'll say goodnight after the show. So. Chat wherever you are. We love you. We look forward to seeing you every week. And on that note, have a good week, everybody.
Thanks.
Night, everybody.
From 8 to 10, it's a party you won't miss. In the live chat, everyone's in bliss. Everyone's in bliss. So mark your calendars, don't sleep on the call. Let's be the buds is back, we're inviting you all. With free seeds and smiles, it's the time of your life. Join the family tonight. Happiness without strife. Wednesday nights, let the good vibes ascend. Together we gather. Together we blend.